Hey there, I'm Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review of another Adam Sandler film. Now, this is a film that I know quite a few people enjoy, and that's fine if you do. Sort of like I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Those are two films that quite a few people like, and they would put in their top 10 favorite Adam Sandler films. They would not be in my top 10, so we agree to disagree, and that's fine. But to me, this is a film I've tried to give a shot quite a few times. That's why I picked up the DVD. As well as I like collecting stuff. When I find it for cheap, like $1 and such. And this movie's just a ripoff. And to me, a not as funny ripoff of this movie. Now, granted, just because a movie's a ripoff doesn't mean it's automatically a bad movie. I mean, you see back here some movies that would be quoted as ripoffs, like Leviathan. But for me, the good much outweigh the bad. This, in my opinion, is not the case. And people go, well, Matt, how is it a ripoff of this? Well, okay, you think about these two movies. And this came out first. They're both two people who are comedians, and they star as a person who's very obsessed with their work. And they don't want to get away from, they want to have their focus on work and disregard loved ones, whether it be a family or a girlfriend or a wife, whatever. So they go somewhere and they meet an Academy Award winner, whether it be Morgan Freeman or Christopher Walken, who is this god or godlike figure who has immense power and gives our leads the power of a god, whether it be to actually be God or a universal remote, which is the power of God, because you can fast forward, pause, rewind time, do almost anything you want, change your face, the language, things of that nature. And then they use their power for their own selfish reasons and selfish needs. And they even make fun of and fuck with someone at work, whether it be fucking with Steve Carell or pausing and farting in David Hasselhoff's face after slapping him. But then as they're using their power and misusing it, things take a turn for the worse. Whether it be the town going apeshit or his life going up shit creek and his getting divorced and family being affected by it. Their love life goes down the shitter. A third act, which gets a bit more dramatic than the rest of the movie. And then you think they die, whether it be being hit by a car or having a heart attack, and then they wake up and say, oh, the town is back to where it is. He's back to where he was at the beginning. And they've learned their lesson, and they realize not to focus so much on work, but to focus on their family, to focus on their loved one, whether it be their girlfriend or, his wife and kids or whatever. And it really did happen. Thanks to Christopher Walken or Morgan Freeman. I am surprised this film did not, get any accusation from people for being a ripoff of this movie. I mean, this was only, 2003, and this was 2006. And, critics are like, oh, it's a ripoff, It's a Wonderful Life. No, it's more of a ripoff for Bruce Almighty. And, to be honest, I think this is a funnier movie than this film. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like this. It's such a huge ripoff of this movie. And I thought this movie was funnier and done better, in my opinion. Now in this one, he has the hot wife, Kate Beckinsale. He has a boy and a girl. You have Henry Winkler as his dad. Julie Kavner, who voices Marge Simpson on The Simpsons, is his mom. This guy who helps on the swimming team of his daughter, that's played by Sean Astin, the swimming coach. And he's an architect. He's obsessed with work. His boss, played by David Hasselhoff. and he visits Bed Bath & Beyond, which you have a small appearance by Nick Swardson, and gets a universal remote control from Christopher Walken's character. And he's able to start using it. Turns down the volume of the dog, fast forward the dog when he's trying to find a spot to take a crap and hump something. And there's some creative stuff to that, I will admit. It's a cool idea, like when he's listening to someone fight and yell at him, he has a picture-in-picture where he's watching a baseball game while that's happening. Later on, when he changes his face to yellow and then to green, and he's like, I'm the Hulk, then to purple, like he's Barney. When he's talking with Asian businessmen and changes the language to English so he can understand them. Changes, he's watching David Hasselhoff do a meeting and, messes with David Hasselhoff's body and then makes him, speak Spanish, or at least he hears it as Spanish. Even when he's talking with Christopher Walken's like, push the menu. It's a DVD menu of his life. And the commentary of his life is voiced by James Earl Jones. Like, stuff like that is fun. It's interesting. It's creative. At the same time, I don't know if I found myself laughing hysterically as much compared to, like, Bruce Almighty, which I thought is a funnier film. And you get fun bits like Terry Crews and the car singing, working for the weekend, these crazy moves he's doing in the car. See, that made me smile. But he gets really, really more and more focused, and I think this character is more of an asshole than this character seemed. As this character wasn't perfect, he had to learn a lesson, but I still thought, even at that time, he was more likable than this guy. Like when he's yelling at his kids, why'd you draw, I want real architecture, not you wanting a room for pizza, or, and I get it, he's supposed to be an asshole because then he learns his lesson. I get that. But there was once or twice where I thought they went a little bit too far with that. There's certain jokes I just didn't find funny, like when he freezes David Hasselhoff and farts in his face for what feels like 5 fucking minutes. I don't think he needed jokes like that, just my opinion. And then as he wants to fast forward everything, but then the remote keeps fast forwarding it by itself. So he starts skipping big points of his life. Like at one point, it's a year later, and he's in counseling. And this is where I would say the last 40 to 50 minutes of this movie is serious and not that funny. And that's, like this I thought did that a little bit better, where, the third act was getting more serious, but I thought it was balanced a bit better in this than in this. It really just seems like two movies colliding. And part of me, people don't shoot me for this, this might have worked better as more of a serious movie, or just be a goofy Happy Gilmore type of movie from beginning to end. Because to me, the last 40-50 minutes are just depressing as fuck in this movie. And I did, everything works out at the end, but and that's the point for him to really learn his lesson. But I thought it was like too much time with just, it's a year later, he's in marriage counseling, his fucking dog dies. And he even wants to quit, and Christopher Walken won't let him. And then he gets a promotion, and it's 10 years later. He's a chairman. He's really fucking fat. And this one part, Jonah Hill plays his son. He has a small part of the movie. And he's divorced, and Kate Beckinsale is seeing Sean Astin. And then this other dog they have. It's like the third dog, because a year later, his first dog's dead. There's a second dog, small one. That's 10 years later. There's a third dog. He pushes Adam Sandler. He hits his head in the wall. then it's like 6 or so years later, he's had cancer, heart attacks, but his fat is gone. He finds out his grandpa, Henry Winkler, died. Again, some nice acting emotion for Adam Sandler, I'll give you that. Which just makes me go, maybe this would work better as a drama for me. I can only speak for me. And, take me to a good place. Then it's like decades later, his son's getting married, and he's depressed, and he has a heart attack, and he disconnects his hospital stuff to run to his son, and this goodbye scene in the rain with him dying, and then he wakes up Bed Bath Beyond, and it's a wonderful life, and he's learned his lesson. But it's like, man, it's like, almost to a point like I get it. But it's like the last 40, 50 minutes of the movie is like a drama. And if it tried to do comedy, I didn't laugh at it because I'm like, my mind is going to his dog is dead, or he's getting divorced, or now his father Henry Winkler's dead, and then this nice emotion scene from Adam Sandler, and then he's in a coma, and even in a coma he had cancer, and he's trying to do humor like he lost his fat, and there's this big flab of fat that he's skinny and his liposuction, but it's like this excess skin, and he's flipping it up and down. And it's supposed to be funny, but it's like, I'm not laughing. We just had a scene where you were at a gravesite of your father, and before that, it was an emotional scene. And then we just learned you were in a coma, and then I don't. It's like the first hour of the comedy, there's some chuckles I had with the remote control, but then it wasn't as funny as this, in my opinion. And then the second half is just so dramatic, and then he dies of a heart attack. Like, it's one thing, like, things are going, boom, he gets hit by a car. Oh no, this is like a very emotional scene. He's dying, and maybe that's why people like it, because it's trying to have a heart to it. I give credit to that, but it's just, for me, such an off-kilter watch. But the movie's trying to make me laugh, and then the first like hour, and then the last 40, 50 minutes is trying to make me sad, and it just didn't work for me. I didn't think it was as funny as some people did, and then I thought stupid enough to say, almost too much drama in the second half. I say third act, but it's really the second half of the movie. Like, this really was like the third act. This is really just like and I don't remember any jokes in the second half of the movie. At least none that landed. And it just, I know this is a popular movie, a lot of people like it, but I'll just be repeating myself, and I know I say that a lot too, because I'm trying to stop that and do better with that. I give credit to Adam Sandler's performance. I give credit to Christopher Walken. He was a bit fun. I give credit to Adam Sandler trying to do some emotional stuff, which honestly I'd rather watch Rain Over Me or Punch Drunk Love if I want to watch that. I prefer those over this. It's like he's trying to do drama and comedy, and I don't think it works that well, but I'm one of the few that think that. And it's a big ripoff of this, very noticeable for me. And each time I watch this, I'm like, fuck this, I'd just rather watch this. Rather pop this in and get a better time. I think it flows better, I think the tone is more even, and I think it's a better movie than this. But that's my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree. To each their own. I've given this quite a few chances. It's not for me. I think Bruce Almighty's better, but that's my opinion. And I'm still surprised they didn't get sued for pretty much almost copying this movie. They really were. But thanks for watching. It was directed by Frank Coraci, who I believe did The Wedding Singer, among some of other Adam Sandler movies. The Wedding Singer I thought did that much better, where there was some nice emotional moments, but then comedy. Like, I think The Wedding Singer is a lot better than this. I forget what other films Frank Coraci did. I think he did that movie, The Ridiculous Six, which if he did, yeah, I could say this is better than Ridiculous Six, but that's not saying much. But, hey, teach their own. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.